I kind of just want to watch the match burn for some reason. Um, I haven't done this in a really long time, and I'm very disappointed in myself and kind of frustrated, but a lot of life is happening, and I got busy, and it kind of fell off of my routine stack, I guess, which is a shame because I get a lot out of this. I think it's really good for my creative spirit and my creative energy. I met with I like went out with a group of new girlfriends yesterday, which was a lot of fun. I'm sure that they will not watch this, but if they do, it was so much fun. Um, and I, where was I even going with that? Oh, they were finding out that I sing and perform live, and they were just like, I can't believe that you do that. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And, I don't hear that much because I feel like my circle is kind of small. I don't like get to know new people in a more like genuine way like that very often. So hearing it and it wasn't just kind of like a, random stranger that you're never going to see again, it really like made me feel appreciated, and it definitely felt like it boosted my confidence and gave me more kind of conviction that it's not an easy thing to do to put yourself out there in any way. And people who do put themselves out there, especially performing and singing, I feel like is one of the most vulnerable ways that we do put ourselves out there, and different forms of creativity. It's not an easy thing to do. And this space is another manifestation of putting ourselves out there in vulnerable ways that's not easy. And my response, kind of, briefly talking through it with them, is just it's a unique type of torture that you kind of feel obligated to do, weirdly. And yeah, not to be dramatic, but I think it's a muscle of being able to challenge yourself and challenging yourself in and allowing that challenge to be witnessed by others. There's a beautiful song by Jacob Collier, speaking of incredible musicians, that speaks to this whole concept of witnessing and witnessing another person's growth, truth. I feel like really maybe it's just truth, like witnessing their truth. There's a skill to be able to hold space and to witness. It's also a skill to be able to, expose ourselves in that way. So I'm just feeling grateful that I have that practice as part of who I am, because I think it really helps me, and I think I'm in my best place when I'm making regularly. And I posted some videos of myself um, playing music on. I went live on Instagram. That's what it was. I went live on Instagram and just learning a song, and I really liked it because it's kind of the spirit that I'm trying to channel with everything. I mean, I think there are spaces for very, very polished, finished. Um, Everything I feel like is very, very polished and finished and is trying to be perfect. And I just really love being able to cultivate spaces where I can be imperfect and others can be imperfect, and we can love and accept and hold space for one another. Yeah, so this has been in the back of my mind, coming back to these videos for since I've kind of been off the mark with it. I think I have one that I didn't upload, so I'm gonna upload this today since it's been a while, and then I'm gonna see if I can upload the other one because I really don't think it went out. Um, we are watching Black Mirror right now, which is thing to such a good TV show to talk about here. I feel like I could, yeah, I just love talking about Black Mirror. So we've been watching a bunch of them since it just came out. And the last one, I cried a lot. And I don't think I was fully expecting to cry, but kind of happy tears, it almost felt like. But it really, really affected me. I thought it was good. I'm really loving this season. And it seems like it's all about biometrics. That's what I'm getting from it. It's like it's all about biometrics, which as I was thinking that watching it, I felt like maybe that's obvious and stupid, but I don't think other seasons have been so explicitly about biometrics. And I think we are entering into this new era of biometrics. And so I think it's relevant, and it's just, yeah, I'm really grateful for anything that pushes us past for anything that pushes us into extremes. I feel like it makes us appreciate the present reality and the way that things are so much more. It's kind of like if you watch a horror movie, and then you can come back and experience your reality with a lot more appreciation. Sorry. So yeah, I don't think Black Mirror is horror, but it does kind of like push things so far beyond and then brings you back to reality in a very nice way. What else? I'm getting ready to release some music, and that I've just decided I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna share it and release it, and I'm gonna write something brief about just nothing is ever finished, and these are definitely not, but it's just it's not I wouldn't say this publicly, but like sharing them and putting them out into the world isn't for anyone else other than myself. I just it feels like dead weight that I'm holding on to not share them. And I'm just, yeah, it really is like in the spirit of needing to release things. It just needs to kind of come out, and now feels like a good time for them to come out with everything else. Um, and yeah, I'm like, I'm not trying to, well, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not trying to make something bigger of it or more of it. And I'm really not. I mean, I got the idea of a band was floated to me yesterday, like joining a band locally here was floated to me. And then I got invited to do like backing vocals for another band that I've also kind of like performed as like a lead in. And those are like not major, those are not major obligations, you know, they're pretty manageable. Um, but it's those are good because I can't own all of the stuff about it, and then I can still perform. But still, I mean, as you get older, it's getting older is so trippy. And I mean, that goes without saying, but getting older is so trippy because all of a sudden you've made all these decisions about your life, and certain doors are more open than others, and certain doors are more closed than others. Um, but like the singing and the performing and music, it I've come back to this time and time and time again, that it isn't really actually like the easiest thing sometimes, because sometimes it really challenges me and forces me to engage with myself in a way that I don't really feel like, but it is probably the best thing I do for myself in all encompassing aspects of managing being a person. It's the best thing I do for my mental health. It's the best thing I do for my energy and overall mood and outlook and all these things. It's just, I also kind of have this push and pull where sometimes I just don't want to. I've been thinking about the concept of a dojo a lot. Like a dojo is in martial arts where you go into a dojo and you fight, and then at the end you like bow and you're like, wow, good fight. Um, and it feels a little bit like musicians are always like, you go on stage and it's a dojo, and you go into a rehearsal space and it's a dojo. I feel like there's a lot of dojo stuff that happens at in my work environment too. So yeah, so I've just been feeling like the dojo concept has been very helpful for me, where I just like haven't been feeling like entering the dojo. How many times am I going to say dojo in this video? I think I might just title it that, but yeah, I haven't really been feeling like I want to enter into that space. But maybe using that term, or knowing that it's like you go in to the dojo to come out better and with like this greater sense of who you are and having, you know, accomplished and overcome with others. So yeah, I wasn't really thinking this would go there. What I was really thinking is that I was thinking about what to title. I'm gonna put it on Bandcamp, so I started making a Bandcamp page, the original music I wrote, and yeah, I was gonna put it on a Bandcamp page, and I have been trying to think about what to call it, because I don't really want to call it my name, and I don't want to call it this, and I think I'm gonna call it open source, and that kind of ties into a lot of what I've talked about here. And I think I'm gonna start doing different series on this Substack page, and I might rename, redesign, rebrand in different ways maybe. But I think I'm gonna like keep the morning pages series as its own thing. And then I think I want to do excuse me, a series that's about products. I work in different types of product work, and I just like thinking about it and I like talking about it. And sometimes it's not the most like the biggest revelation. Sometimes it's just, you know, interesting to talk about for me in a shorter, in, yeah, in a day to day type of sense, which I think is very healthy. So I think I'm going to start a product series. I think I'm going to name the something about this piece of work is going to come out under like an open source um, name. And yeah, I'm just going to keep chipping away in the way that this is meant to be, which is it's meant to be fulfilling and fun and part of the journey rather than um, rather than, you know, an obligation that I don't look forward to. So I'm proud of myself for making it through the 10 minutes. I really need to also bring meditation back into my life, but yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing the 10 minutes and for coming back to this, cuz I knew I was going to have to take some space away, and I knew that this wasn't always going to be easy breezy. I've said that, and what matters is just keep showing up for yourself and keep showing up for the thing you're practicing. So yeah. I'm going to try to do more this upcoming week. Okay, bye.